Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and of course it's a Thursday, so that means a brand new video. So this is of course the very first episode of my new series Hey Henny. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is Hey Henny? Now Hey Henny will be a series where I will be of course reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, Drag U, anything that kind of falls under the kind of Drag Race medium. This also includes like any of the shows that girls have been in, Hurricane Bianca, all those kind of things. But I'll also be reviewing, of course, the Boulet Brothers, Dragula Season 1, Season 2, and eventually Season 3 when it comes on. But what better way, what is this episode about, you're probably asking? So this episode specifically is about, of course, All Stars 3. So in this episode, I'm going to be looking at giving you my general thoughts on the cast of All Stars 3 before, of course, it airs. Now, obviously, when this goes up, will be a few episodes into the season, probably around 4 or 5, I don't know, when eventually I put this up. So this is about 2-3 days before. Obviously, I've seen the first episode. I've seen the first 15 minutes, so I kind of have a gist of what my first impressions of the episodes are for. But we'll see what happens. So, of course, we know there is 10 queens going to be part of the season, and of course 9 of them have been confirmed so far. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on those 9 queens so far to date, and of course, who do I think is the mysterious 10 queen? So what better way to start off with than, of course, the killer returning queen herself, Shangela. Now this is her third time competing. Now if you do not know Shangela competed originally in Season 2, was kicked out in the first episode, came back in Season 3, was nearly kicked out in the first episode of Season 3 when she was with Venus Light, and that was the most epic lip sync ever, just the sheer fact of, you've ever seen drag queen scared of hair? Jesus Christ, being just like throwing her ponytail around the place. That was epic. And of course, Season 3, Shangela grew immensely from her first season. She is a killer queen from the House of Edwards. She, of course, is... her drag mother is, of course, Alyssa. Her drag sister is, of course, Laganja. She's also in the house with Gia, Plastic Tiara, and, of course, Vivian Panay. Vivian, we never really see anymore. But less on those and more on Shangela. Shangela is a badass performer. She has literally toured the world. She's been in Ireland several times. I'm meeting her in April, hopefully, if she comes here. There's hints that she's coming in April. I'm not sure. Will she come in April? We'll see if that's ever announced. I'll probably mention it when I do one of my future reviews, if she ever comes. I feel as a queen she's grown continuously stronger. She's shown her comedy chops. She's released several singles. She's toured the world. She's presented her one-woman shows. She's a killer dancer. She's returned to the show practically for every clip show, for every reunion show. She was in Season 4 again. She's practically every time. And any time someone sees a box now, they think instantly Shangela. She's an all-star in her own right and is pretty much one of the poster childs of the show, and I believe she will go far this season. She'll go very far and is a standout character, definitely top 3, if not potentially the winner. So my second queen is, of course, Morgan McMichaels. Now Morgan McMichaels is, of course, the drag daughter of Chad Michaels, who of course won All Stars 1 and was a runner-up in Season 4. Now Morgan, I do like Morgan post-show more than I did on the show. I feel Morgan wasn't exactly a strong performer on the original show. She's a strong lip syncer. She has got, if they are doing anything where she has to host anything, she will kill at it. She could have a very similar storyline to Tatiana in that, of course, they originally both on Season 2. It was ages ago. How will they kind of show their kind of like how they've grown immensely since their original season. So for Morgan, she has a lot to show. A lot of the younger fans of the show would know her, so she's got a lot to show, and I'm really excited to see what she brings to the table. Number 3, Milk. This is one of my favourite queens. I absolutely adore Milk on their original season for the sake of, not just because Milk is incredibly hot out of drag. Oh, come on, honey, do not even lie. He's incredibly hot out of drag. He's one of my personal favourites. They have served killer looks continuously, which I'm always happy to see. I hope she delivers a more killer kind of Snatch Game this time around. And now, if you don't know Snatch Game, for those of you who've never seen RuPaul's Drag Race, it's kind of like the match game. It's like where you actually have to impersonate someone, like Stars in Your Eyes. Very similar, except it's more comedy, or it's like blankety blank. It's a mixture of blankety blank, the match game, where you impersonate celebrities. In her original Snatch Game, Milk played Julia Childs, and it did not go down well. It was very similar to Max doing Sharon. It wasn't the greatest, it was okay. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't like freaking Chicky Caliente Snooki. I'm like, what the hell is this? Or like Kenya's Beyonce, which was like Beyonce after a long night. A fucking speed or something. Jesus Christ. Milk is definitely a killer queen I want. I'm hoping that she will make it to Snatch Game this season. Just to present a better kind of thing. She obviously will present killer looks. How she grown since the show. In terms of competing, will she still be a strong competitor? Time will tell. Number 4, Trixie Mattel. Now this is a clear fan favourite going into season 2, snatch the crown from all these other 9 queens. Now she has shown the world her talent since the original show. She's done it through the Trixie and Katya show. She's done it through she's done it through her one-woman shows, which have sold out within 2 hours around the world. She has a lot to show this time around. She's grown immensely. I cannot wait to see her Snatch Game. Her original Snatch Game choice was Anne Frank. Now we all know how that was going to go down potentially if you actually play that. She does have stiff competition in Shangela and a few other queens, which we'll get back into later on. My only fear is that she will fade into the background in the edits, because there is a lot of big personality queens this season, especially like Bendela, Thorgy, Morgan, Milk. You're kind of got these very big kind of personalities. That Trixie is a big personality, but could potentially kind of, let's say, blend into the background and just be a constant safe. Very similar to her original run in Drag Race. It's one of the things is you can be a killer queen outside of the show, but when it comes to the format, are you going to be amazing in it? And number 5 is, of course, Thorgy Thor. Now, Thorgy, I'm always fun to see. I love Thorgy originally season 8. My only kind of issues is that she was very much a perfectionist. She'll get into her head, such as when they were doing the campaign ads. She became very much like, we have to keep adding elements and adding elements and adding elements, and just became overly kind of witty and poetic, where you just have to go, this is the baseline. Where Bob went with, Derek Barry eats freaking babies. And Thorgy's going on about this, going really in depth and kind of over-analysing things. I feel Thorgy is good. She's a strong performer. So I cannot wait to see her on the show. Very curious to see what kind of look she will bring. I've put down here that she could potentially be gingered, in that she's a strong performer, but could potentially be just kind of written off kind of very much early on in the show. Kind of eliminated fairly early on, and that she'll still be kind of, she's there, but she's not really kind of a big personality. She will blend in the background and be eliminated very early on. My only fear is that they could really kind of, if she mentions Bob, they're going to make her out to be still bitter about it, like they very much did with Kennedy in the Meet the Queens, where she's like, Pearl, I deserve to better. I deserve to be in that top 3, not Pearl. I'm like, it's like, it happened several years ago, get over it. So that will be interesting. Will she be gingered, and will they, of course, make her to be still bitter about Bob? Talking of queens who are seen as bitter by kind of wider fan bases, Kennedy Davenport. Now, originally, I did not like Kennedy in her original season. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like her up until the Death Becomes Her runway in season 7. From that, I absolutely loved her. Before that, I didn't really like her as a character. I felt she was very too much on. She's a strong ass performer. Her dance skills are on top of the roof. She is a lip sync assassin. If you remember, she did do killer lip syncs. She has potential top 4, I believe. but I feel they'll edit her to be a bitch, like they'll edit her to be like the Fifi potentially of this season, or they'll edit her to be kind of still bitter of her pearl. They'll kind of play on these kind of emotions. My next queen is of course Chi-Chi, queen number 7. Now I love Chi-Chi. She's another lipstick assassin, a kind of killer queen. In her original season, her looks were not extremely polished. They kind of look cheap. Obviously, Chi-Chi has grown immensely since, of course, season 8. Does she still think New England is abroad? I hope not, because literally she's probably been over to England and Ireland, so no excuse anymore, girl. She obviously... She has a lot to, obviously, she's a lot to kind of like show off to the world. Her snatch game was perfect last season, season 8 as I think it. So it'll be amazing to see what Chi-Chi has to bring to the table. She's a strong ass performer, but her looks were not polished, and that's what I'm trying to see this season to make her an all-star. Are her looks. Show me glamour. Show me glamour and I will love you forever. Like proper glamour, show me out of the box, show me unconventional, show me amazingness in those kind of views. Number 8 is of course Aja, fresh off the boat from season 9. Now Aja in her original season went kind of, Princess Disaster was a disaster. So she deserves to be here. A lot of people say, why is Aja brought back? Why not Valentina? Why not Shay? Why not this? Obviously, some of the queens did deny a place, and it was like, oh, I just don't want to be back in the game. Obviously, Aja deserves to be there. I feel out of a good few of the season 9 queens, because of course she has presented killer catchphrases, very similar to Shangela with her whole like sugar daddy speech. She of course had her Linda Evangelista speech. She had of course the whole fan favorite thing, so it'll be amazing to see what she's done. I believe she'll have probably a similar kind of arc on the show to Shangela, when Shangela went from season 2 to season 3 in terms of overall growth, that she could potentially be kicked off at the very last minute, or she can make it to top 3. She's grown immensely in terms of that. Her makeup has improved, so it'll be very interesting to see what she will present this time. And will she do Crystal LaBeija for Snatch Game? She did Alyssa Edwards, but will she do Crystal LaBeija this time around? If you don't know Crystal LaBeija is a queen from the House of LaBeija. Have you ever seen the documentary Paris is Burning, which looks, of course, at the ballroom scene? The ballroom scene is very much around voguing and everything else. Well, Crystal, who is part of the House of LaBeija, was in the 1964 documentary The Queen, which is, of course, a drag competition in New York, where literally, this obviously influences as well Alaska's Puppet, where it's like, Crystal just goes, I've had enough of this shite. She did not deserve to win. She was not even wearing eyelashes or whatever, and just walks off. And the presenter said, this is not the time to show temperament. And very much this was influenced, this is seen in, of course, Puppet by, of course, Alaska. And the first thing when Little Pancake, obviously I was calling her Little Cupcake, Little Pancake wanders off, and it's like, they're kind of like, Gretchen, this is not the time to show temperament. So very similar to that. So it'll be interesting to see, will she do Crystal LaBeija, will she of course do this dramatic queen, which is very similar to her kind of personality. Queen number 9, Ben de la Creme. Now, of course, Ben de la Creme is the Miss Congeniality of season 6. She got at least to top 5, I think it was in season 6. Of course, Darian had top 4 position, which not many people were happy about, of course, because of the whole, if you ever remember the duel, Darian's outfit was not exactly, I would say, the best. It was not flattering. And I love Darren. She's absolutely amazing. The whole kind of thing when she was doing like the Meet the Queens, and in the video where of course Ben gets hit by Discover, Darren did this whole meme where she was holding Discover, which I would hit Ben in the face. I found it hilarious. Ben is an amazing queen. I loved her in season 7. She's potentially a winner. She killed it during her season. She does though have extreme competition. My only issue is that Will she show more versatility? Will she show that she can do disgusting, she can do crazy, she can do something that isn't just typical, oh, this is Ben de la Creme, which is my only fear, that she'll give outfits that are like, this is Ben de la Creme. This is like, whoa, oh my god, I didn't know you were capable of that. Like, if you look at all the All-Star winners, they presented looks which are like, oh my god, it's still kind of Alaska, but it's like, it's out of the box for Alaska, or it's out of the box for, whenever saying out of the box now, I keep thinking Shangela, and I think she's going to pop back behind me or something. I do feel that she's a bit of a perfectionist. So obviously you can see she's very much thinks through a situation and goes like, this has to be this way. Will she get caught up in her head, very similar to Thorgy? Only time will tell. She's a strong performer, but I feel for the judges, they will judge her if she does not present a different character than Ben. That, of course, like Katy can do different characters, like it's like presenting a different side to the character that wasn't seen before, that makes you an all-star, that gives you not just charisma, uniqueness, nerve and talent, but gives you that all-star qualities that are like 110%, not just 100 but 110. So of course that is Bendela. I believe she will go far this season. My top 4 for this season, of course, are Shangela, Trixie, Aja, and of course Kennedy. I believe those 4 queens will of course go far this season. If I had to say early out, I would have to say Thorgy potentially could be first, or Morgan. Only time will tell. Who is the 10th queen? Well, from, of course, because I do love Reddit, all signs point to, of course, an early season 1 queen. Only time will tell who that will be. So it could be Bebe, it could be Angina, it could be Akasha. I would die if it was Akasha. I love that bitch. So pretty much that is my All Stars 3 cast review, and I will see you in my next video. Of course, I'll be back with more episodes of Hey Henny once the show starts. Would probably be every Thursday, just before the new episode airs. I'll put up a brand new episode. If you want to subscribe, go around here. If you want to look at my previous video, go here. So, and if you want to be notified of future subscriptions, don't forget to press the bell just down there in the face. So, that's all from me.